I recently saw an awesome icon animation on the Render Network website. It inspired me to create a video tutorial on how to make an SVG icon animation using simple CSS and JavaScript. In this video, we'll be focusing on animating the light stroke of microcontroller icon. Let's bring it to life. Let's begin. We need an SVG icon for our animation. I've created one using Adobe Illustrator. My icon contains 3 layers, which I named Layer 1, Layer 2, and Base. This name will correspond to the ID of each element in the SVG when we export it. Let's export the SVG file and open it in your web browser. So now you open the VS Code and begin by creating a new folder for your project. Inside the new folder, create an index.html file. This will be your main web page. Use the keyboard shortcut !+center to quickly create a basic HTML template. Now you copy the entire SVG tag and its content. Paste the copied SVG tag from the icon file inside the div element with the ID container. In the VS Code, you can right-click anywhere in the document and select Format Document to automatically arrange your code for better readability. Look at the SVG tag. We add the ID SVG. This assigns a unique identifier SVG to the image element. This can be useful for reference the image with CSS or JavaScript. Now look at the G elements. These group various SVG shapes together. There are 3 groups with IDs, Layer 1, Layer 2, and Base. This ID let it correspond to the 3 separate layers you created in Adobe Illustrator before exporting the SVG file. By assigning ID to these groups, you can target them individually with CSS or JavaScript. Let's create a style.css file and link it to our HTML. To position our SVG icon in the center, we use CSS to style its container. This is for setting the container display to flex and using justify content and align items property to achieve horizontally and vertically centering. Finally, we define a suitable width for SVG itself using the width properties. Next, we use JavaScript to determine the length of the SVG path. We attach an event listener to the window object, specifically for the DOM content loading event. This ensures the code executes only when the DOM is fully loaded. We use the document.query selector to select the specific SVG path we want to measure. In this case, we're targeting the path element that is child of the SVG element with the ID Layer 1 and the class 1. Same for the second path. Once we have a reference to the path element, we can call the built-in JavaScript function getTotalLength to calculate the total length. Finally, we use the console.log to print the calculated length to the browser console. In your example, it's print the value around 181. Let's explore how to create an animation that reveals an SVG path line. We'll achieve this using two CSS properties, stroke-ray. These properties control the pattern of dashes and gaps along the path stroke. The first is stroke-ray 1. You can see that our path now is dashes. The bigger the number specified here, the bigger the gap. Setting it to 181, create dashes with gaps as long as the path itself. This initial state hides the path visually. Stroke-offset. This property determines where the dash pattern starts relative to the path beginning. If for example I say 5, the stroke will be pushed 5 units away from the starting point. Setting it to 181 effectively hide by assigning the dashes beyond design. Let's create the animation. First, we define our animation using keyframes. We name it and set the stroke-offset to 182 at the beginning and 0 at the end. Let's apply this animation to the SVG element. The animation will last 2.3 seconds with linear timing function. We apply the same technique to line 2. Since line 2 is roughly 90 pixels long, setting it to 91 or 92 should work well. Now we have a basic animation with both line 1 and line 2. Using easements instead of linear can create smoother animation effect. This is where the cubic bezier comes in. It allows you to define the specific spacing of the animation. Let's explore how to modify the cubic bezier value. Here's a helpful website for visualizing and creating custom animation curves. Play around with the controls on the website to find a movement style you like. When you're happy, copy the generated string and paste this right here into the code. You will see how smoothly our animation transitions. That's it, we have created a cool animation. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more tutorials.